Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Mohamad Mazuki and my student ID is 2111 4529.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Aini Syafiqah binti Md Hisham.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohamad Wafi bin Saiful Bahri.
Hi, my name is Intan Zulaikha binti Mohamad.
And hi, my name is Mohamad Iskandar bin Jamaluddin.
Firstly, welcome to the National Bank of Greece, one of the largest financial institutions in the country. Founded in 1841, National Bank of Greece has a long history of serving the financial needs of the Greek people. Over the years, the bank has evolved and adapted to the changing financial landscape. Today, National Bank of Greece offers a wide range of services, including retail banking, corporate banking, investment banking, and also wealth management. Whether you an individual looking to save for the future, small business owner in need of a loan, or a multinational corporation seeking expert advice, National Bank of Greece has the experience and resources to help. With over 600 branches throughout 16 countries across 4 continents, National Bank of Greece is always accessible, and their team of dedicated professionals is committed to providing exceptional customer service. On the other hand, NBG also have made a concerted effort to control the banking industry throughout the Balkans, especially in Yugoslavia, Albania, and Bulgaria during the 20th century. Moving on to the types of services provided by National Bank of Greece, they have a total of 6 principal businesses. The first one is retail banking. For retail banking section, NBG offer services for individual clients, corporate clients, small and medium-sized organization. Next, for corporate and investment banking principle, they provide financing for all large and medium-sized firms, financing for shipping, and investment banking. Thirdly, for special asset principle, NBG manage delinquent, non-performing, and condemned obligation owned by legal companies. Moving on into the fourth principle, which is global market and asset management. This section offers services for treasury operation, private banking, asset management, private equity, and also brokerage. The fifth principle is insurance, where NBG provides insurance product by each subsidiary, which is Ethniki Hellenic General Insurance. The last principle is international banking operation. This service comprises basic commercial banking services such as commercial and retail credit, trade financing, foreign exchange, and also deposit taking.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Aini Syafiqah and I'm going to be the next presenter for our article analysis with the title The Delisting of the National Bank of Greece NBG Stock from International Exchanges. When did this happen? According to the article, this occurred in December 2015 when the stock of National Bank of Greece was removed from international exchanges. Why is NBG being removed? This is because they are unable to satisfy the capital requirements that had been established by those exchanges. Furthermore, they also experiencing a struggling economy in Greece and a high level of loans that are not performing as expected at the bank. Next, what is the effect on NBG? NBG suffer a loss of reputation as well as future opportunities as a direct result of the delisting of its stock from international exchanges. So here are some issues that we get to pull from the article itself. Firstly, reduced visibility of the stock to the investor and trades. Secondly, negative perception to the public and also investor. And lastly, the declining of stocks trading, volume and liquidity. What do you think is the causes of this issue? Here I'm going to tell you some of it from drop in customer deposit might impair a bank capacity to fund operation and meet its obligation, since there is a great recession happening to the Greece at that time. Moreover, Greek economic downfall affected the increase in the loan demand, and this might increase the bank funding needs and place a strain on its liquidity. Here are some strategies that National Bank of Greece or NBG execute. One of it is they make a recapitalization plan and stock split of their equity, which they have sold their equity at a 90% discount and declared that their common share will not trade in the Athens market. They also reduce their loan to deposit ratio, which can help strengthen its liquidity situation. Lastly, for my last point, which is recommendation that NBG can take for this issue, are to monitor market condition continuously, which they can analyze the health of the financial market on the frequent basis and alter its liquidity management policies. Moreover, they can improve their risk management process to continue to improve its risk management policy and develop robust contingency plan. So that's all from me. Thank you. I'm going to pass my presentation to the next presenter.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Mohamad Mazuki and I am from JBA 2514C. Good day, Madam Ruzia. I would like to explain about the National Bank of Greece's aggregate problem bank ratio in 2021. Now, before we get started, you guys have to know about the global financial crisis that happened in 2007 until 2008, which wreaked havoc onto a lot of countries, including Greece. Because of that, in early 2009, Greece's economic conditions started to worsen badly until it made headline news, which was known as the Greek debt crisis. This continued for several years until late 2018. The amount of debt collected from all those years were amounted to $372 billion roughly as of September 2019. As time went on, the average loans started to decrease from a roughly 40% in 2016 to a significant 25% in 2020. By early 2021, NBG saw an improvement in their quality of assets. There were two identifiable risks from this huge incident. One is sovereign risk and the other is interest rate risk. Sovereign risk refers to Greece's economic instability and high levels of public debt, which make it a high risk for investors to invest in Greece's market. While interest rate risk is more involved with the Securitization Act, which NBG did to improve its asset quality. Investors have to look out for NBG's securitized assets, as its so-called assets rely heavily on Greece's economic conditions. Any fluctuation in the interest rates is considered a risk in the asset of securitization of NBG, which is what the investors have to keep in mind. Now, what strategy did NBG adopt? Let's find out. Firstly, we got the implementation of securitization. This introduction to a new act was aided by the Hercules Asset Protection Scheme by guaranteeing the least risky tranche of sellable notes. As I have mentioned before, this strategy works. Looking at the charts, the loans decreased from 10.7 billion euros to 4.2 billion euros in the first quarter of 2020. Another strategy that NBG implemented was moratorium. NBG was given a moratorium of 19.2 billion of loans in total to help protect borrowers from risk of default during the pandemic. By the end of 2020, loans under moratorium banks decreased from the previous quarters. My recommendation towards NBG is to instill better risk management policies. This involves periodic stress testing, portfolio diversification, and exhaustive due diligence of the underlying assets. Besides that, the bank could strengthen its securitization activities by providing clear and concise information regarding their securitization assets in order to boost investors' trust and to attract funds towards the bank. NBG can also evaluate the creditworthiness of the underlying assets and the ability of the borrower to repay the debt. This can help to reduce the risk of default and guarantee high-quality assets. NBG should also maintain a solid capital and liquidity in certain situations, since they will provide a cushion against losses to preserve the bank's capacity to meet its obligations. And finally, NBG could also monitor market and development conditions of Greece regularly in order to effectively manage exposure to this risk. And that is all from me. Thank you.
I am going to explain on the issues regarding state of the banking system in Greece in April 2013. So, what happened? In April 2013, the banking system in Greece was facing significant challenges due to the country's ongoing debt crisis. The Greek government had received multiple bailouts from the European Union and the International Monetary Fund, but the country's debt remained unsustainable. The banking sector was also heavily exposed to the government's debt and was facing rising levels of non-performing loans. As a result, many Greek banks were struggling to stay afloat and were in need of further financial support. For National Bank of Greece, they were dealing with declining profitability and a rising number of bad loans, leading to concerns about its financial stability. Next, one of the issues are National Bank of Greece was facing high levels of loan issues, which was contributing to its financial challenges. The high levels of loan issues were a reflection of the broader economic challenges faced by Greece at the time, as the country was dealing with a debt crisis that was affecting the entire banking sector. And then, next issues, National Bank of Greece was in need of recapitalization in order to strengthen its balance sheets and restore confidence in the bank. The bank was in the process of restructuring and seeking to raise capital, which was a common issue faced by many Greek banks at the time due to the country's ongoing debt crisis. The need for recapitalization was driven by declining profitability and rising levels of non-performing loans, which were putting pressures on the bank's financial stability. Moving on, the National Bank of Greece is subject to both market risk and regulatory risk. They are vulnerable to market risk because they hold significant amounts of government bonds that have decreased in value, and they are also vulnerable to increased regulatory risk because the government is implementing measures to address the crisis and improve the stability of the financial system. For strategies, the Greek banking industry might require new tactics such as the execution of reforms. It is impossible that the industry will need to implement reforms in order to address the issues that are currently being faced by the banking sector. One of the issues is the need to reduce the levels of non-performing loans. Next, by working to maintain consistency, there is a possibility that the sector will need to take steps to promote economic and political stability. It is possible that the National Bank of Greece and the wider Greek banking industry will need to implement these strategies in order to be successful in overcoming the challenges they are currently facing. Lastly, the National Bank of Greece needs to raise capital in order to increase its solvency ratios to levels that have been established by the central bank. By raising capital, the bank aimed to increase its solvency ratios and demonstrate to regulators, investors, and customers that it was financially stable. This will help to restore confidence in the bank and support its ongoing operations.
Here are the summary to this article. National Bank of Greece incurred a series of losses from July to September 2017. It was reported in November 2017 due to fluctuating net interest, income and trading losses that offset a drop in bad debt provision. However, the rates were somewhat greater than the 2017 second quarter losses documented at 51.87 million euros compared to 52 million euros. After protected precision that drove employment to a new unprecedented levels and made it impossible for borrowers to pay their loans, Greece continued to experience challenges with its loans portfolios. National Bank of Greece loans impairment decreased 22% to 156 million euros. However, its ratio of non-performing exposure increased to 45.2% from 45.1% in the second quarter. With the help of a recent issuance of a 3 years covered bond that collected 750 million euros to the central bank, was able to reduce its borrowing to 4.7 billion euros in the following month, the lowest among its Greek peers. Next part is the issue. The issue for Greek bank is market risk. According to the article, Greece National Bank is having a trouble capable of handling its problem loan portfolios as a result of a prolonged recession that has raised unemployment rates and made it difficult for borrowers to make their debt payments. Move on to the strategies. The Greece National Bank has been adopting strategies aimed at reducing its bad debt levels as part of its effort to address problems faced by the financial institution, has been implementing strategies to lower the amount of bad debt it has as a part of its attempt to resolve issues the financial institution is having. Since the final quarter of 2015, the bank is said to have decreased its non-performing exposure by 3.5 million euros. The bank continued similar efforts from July to September with a decrease in NPA of 200 million euros quarter-over-quarter. This reduction was principally made possible by the current process, which was responsible for more than half of the NPA reduction. In Greece, the bank's coverage of NPA remained at a sector high 57%, up to 40 basis points over the prior 3 months, according to NBG CEO Leonidas Frangiadakis. The recent issue of a 3-year covered bond has assisted NBG in its effort to minimize borrowing from the European Central Bank and the Home Central Bank, in addition to reducing bad debt. This tactic will give the bank an increase in capital buffer in time for an upcoming regulatory exercise. Finally, the recommendation that we would like to suggest are by lowering possible losses from loan defaults or other financial risks. Increasing the bank available capital will increase capital buffer. This can be done by holding onto earnings or by generating additional funds by using strategies like issuing new shares or bonds. Then, as a market and economic conditions can significantly affect the bank loan portfolio and overall financial performance, and it is crucial for the bank to keep a close eye on this by frequently monitoring these situations and taking necessary action when required. The bank can reduce its exposure to potential risks like decreasing loan repayment rates or market volatility. Lastly, to increase the likelihood of collecting unpaid debts and reduce the impact of non-performing loans on the bank's financial performance, the bank should improve its loan reconstructing and recovery process. The bank will be able to improve its loan restructuring processes by working with borrowers to renegotiate their loan terms, and such as lowering interest rates, extending payback periods, or converting debt into equity. By doing so, the likelihood of loan repayment can be increased, and the detrimental financial effect of NPL on the bank performance can be lessened.
In conclusion, the National Bank of Greece has been a subject of discussion and analysis in recent years. Despite facing numerous challenges, including the European debt crisis, the bank has managed to remain a leading financial institution in Greece and the wider European Union. In order to maintain its stability and competitiveness, the National Bank of Greece has been required to make significant changes, including restructuring its operation and improving risk management practice. The future of National Bank of Greece remains uncertain. Despite the challenges it has faced and continue to face, the bank has demonstrated a strong commitment to adapting to changing market conditions and remaining a key player in the financial industry. With the right combination of careful planning, smart investment, and effective management, the National Bank of Greece has the potential to continue to thrive in the years to come. I think that's all from us. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.